my Married at First Sight Nashville fans. Yes, we have gotten to the end, so we think, of this whole season. And yeah, we got to talk about it. First, we are down to the last day of the 8 weeks. We're down to 4 couples making a decision, and it leaves us with actually one cliffhanger from one of our couples. Welcome back to Romance Review TV. It's Lady T. I got another recap video for you guys. Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode number 20, The Last Rodeo, Decision Day number 1, or should I say Part 1. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and unpack this Decision Day. So, Decision Day has officially arrived on Married at First Sight Season 16 as this reality show reaches a pivotal turn. So, the question is, who stayed together, who's getting a divorce, and the results might surprise you or maybe not. But don't worry, not because we're breaking it all down by couples, but yeah, it looked like we're going to have some interesting little surprises as well. So first up is Jasmine and Eris. Now, Jasmine and Eris made some late progress in this process, leaving them with very little to hold on to leading up to Decision Day. And we seen all of the issues that they had, the ups and downs, the lack of attraction, him looking for sexual positions, her being more attracted than he was, and then it looked like she dialed it back and he picked up the speed. So yeah, a lot happens with these two. Now, that progress, of course, led to some hope that they might say yes by staying married. But, however, despite the peace and the calm during their meeting with the experts, these two amicably chose to part ways, opting out for a divorce. And for me, this was no surprise. I mean, as much as I just think more often than none, it was more of Eris. He had a lot of roadblocks because he just never fell in love before. And of course, she is all about falling in love and finding her person. That's just a hard thing to try to, channel and figure out. And my thing is, this should have been a huge question that the experts should have looked for when they interviewed him. Are you sure you're ready? You're 40 years old almost and have not yet said you love someone. So could this even work out, especially with someone who really truly wants love and marriage like Jasmine? So of course, like I just said, they amicably said no, and so we'll get to see next week where they go from here. So next up, of course, is Nicole and Chris. And the night before Decision Day for these two, they were pretty much optimistic. I mean, the only drawback was being that Chris's uncertainty about Nicole's lack of self-confidence and their relationship. Now, as you guys probably remember throughout the season, she dealt with a whole lot of insecurities. And then the other issue on Chris's side is maybe setting some boundaries so he won't be walked up on. Now, ultimately, any concerns that they had going into Decision Day, all that melted away when they both made it clear that yes, they want to stay married. And they toasted to the experts. Dr. Pepper passed the cow. Chris surprises Nicole with a beautiful bouquet of flowers to enhance the whole happy moment. And I'm happy for these two. She looked absolutely gorgeous in that pink flowy dress. So yeah, girl, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I know sometimes you have to see it for yourself, but you look absolutely beautiful today. And of course, Chris thinks you're gorgeous too. So yeah, it was no surprise with these two. They have pretty much been the leading couple this season. But yeah, they ultimately said yes to stay married on Decision Day. So we'll have to see what's up next for these two in the future. So, our next couple up is Clint and Gina. Now, Gina and Clint part ways the day before decision day with positivity and a promise to consider all of the options before they met with the experts. Now, once they met the following day, they agreed that their lack of romance just wasn't enough to carry them forward. And for that reason, they both decided to get a divorce. Their choice is so mutual and so friendly that they both know that they want to be married after the process, but vow to remain good friends. The question is that going to stick? Because looking at those previews next week, look like we got a who is the custodial parent issue when it comes to that dog. And it looked like Clint, he don't want to give up that dog. And we even found out in this episode that he offered Gina 10 grand to actually kind of buy the dog off. But ultimately he said that, that's Gina's dog, so she can keep it. But the experts was like, you know what? This is the friendliest I've ever seen a divorce. So they decided to call it quits, and this was no surprise. Everything from him talking about being with someone a little bit more slender and athletic, and her talking about somebody with gingery features. Remember that earlier in the season? I think that's where it ended, right there. And they had that big old fight on the honeymoon as well, where Gina pretty much walked off. They tried to make it amicable. I think they actually stayed as friends. Well, they did stay as friends, but they shared no rooms together. They had 2 separate bedrooms. So, they put each other in the friend zone early on. And so ultimately, they said goodbye to each other as a married couple on this decision day. And finally, last but not least, Shaq and Kirsten. Now, the day before their decision day, it led to a lot of nerves for Shaq and Kirsten, who both of them felt that they needed to be 100% certain about one another just to stay married. Now, the problem was that they're not sure if they have what it takes to make this whole marriage thing work between the two of them. Now, while they note the improvements that they've made, it doesn't make for much confidence as they headed into decision day. Now, once that they were fated to actually make that decision on that day and it arrived, they reflect on the rough start that they had and the small strides that they made together between attending church together, meeting the family. There have also been some good things between the two of them. And while Kirsten reveals she wanted to stay married, which I was actually shocked by that, the episode cuts off before we can actually hear what Shaq thinks. However, it left us with him saying, well, I don't know. So I don't know if that's just enough to give us a little bit of doubt and hang on the edge of our seats until next week, because it definitely left us as viewers hanging by a thread, wondering what Shaq is going to say next. Now, I got to say, the suit was a little colorful. I saw on social media, especially on Facebook and the groups, that people were calling him the Joker. Listen, if you follow his clothing line, because he also deal with a retail that he has of his own outside of what he does at the universities, he has a lot of different styles and everything. So, it's not surprising to me, as him being in fashion like he is, to see what he had on. But I guess it didn't sit with a lot of people. They've been talking about that suit since they saw the previews last week. But anyway, I think that they both look absolutely gorgeous together. I've been rooting for them. I know there's been some spoilers out saying that he's probably going to say no. I hope that's not the case, but hey, we will have to wait and see and find out next week. And so with Kirsten's look on her face, she was like, I just said, you gonna tell me no? Remember, she's bossy. She's an Aquarius. He's an Aries, so he gonna do what he want to do. It's gonna be his decision first. So we got to stay tuned for next week to find out if Kirsten is gonna get the answer that she's hoping for. Okay, so let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. What do you think about some of the decisions, the yeses, the nos? Was anything a shocker to you, or it was just pretty much well to be expected? And this was just part one. We're still hanging on to that cliffhanger for part two, and look like it's some interesting stuff going on in the next episode where people are starting to date other people, including Clint kissing Dominique, which we saw that before the season. We didn't know when that was going to drop. So obviously it happened after the decision day. So we were teased with that. Let me know your thoughts. So I hope you enjoyed this recap. Stay tuned for other updates and recaps on this channel. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.